Let's piss some people off.
Nobody talks about this part. Everyone tells you to choose yourself, to walk away, to set boundaries, but nobody tells you what happens after. Nobody explains what it feels like when the noise is gone, when the people are gone, when the distractions are gone. And now it's just you sitting with yourself. And that's when you realize you don't fully recognize yourself yet. Or worse, you do recognize yourself, and there are parts of you that you don't even like. That's the part nobody prepares you for. Hi, and welcome back to I Am Spice, the podcast. This is where we talk about the real things, the things you feel but don't always say out loud. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here already, you know the energy. Take a second to subscribe, please. Like and share this video with someone who might need it, because this conversation, it's uncomfortable, but it's very necessary. Today, I want to talk about what happens after you choose yourself, after everything gets quiet and you finally meet the version of you that's been underneath everything this whole time. And the truth is, that meeting isn't always beautiful. I want to talk about this like we're just sitting together, because this is not one of those topics where I'm going to sit here and pretend it's all empowerment and glow up energy, because it's not. This part is honest, because when everything slows down, when you're no longer reacting the same way, when you're no longer chasing, when you're no longer explaining yourself, and when you're no longer overextending, you don't just feel peace, you feel exposed, because now there's nothing to hide behind. There are no distractions, no constant conversations, no emotional chaos keeping you occupied. It's just you. And that's when things start coming up. Your habits, your patterns, your thoughts, your reactions that you didn't even realize you had. That's when you start asking yourself things like, why do I feel uncomfortable when things are calm? Why do I feel like I need to check my phone? Why do I feel like I need someone to talk to right now? Or why do I feel restless just being by myself? And that's not just because something is wrong with you. It's because you're finally sitting with yourself without any escape. And that can feel intense, because for a long time, a lot of us were using people, not in a bad way, but as emotional regulation. We used conversations to avoid silence. We used relationships to avoid ourselves. And we used connection to distract from what we didn't want to face. So when all of this is gone, you don't just feel alone, you feel everything. And here's the part people don't like to admit. Sometimes when you meet yourself, there are parts of you that you don't fully like yet. Not because you're a bad person, but because now you're aware. You start noticing the overthinking, the need for validation, the people pleasing tendencies, the moments where you want to go back just because it's familiar, and the urge to explain yourself again. And that can feel very disappointing, because you thought that once you choose yourself, you were going to feel fully confident, fully healed, fully clear. But instead, you're sitting there thinking, wait, I still have work to do. And that's where people get discouraged. That's where people start thinking, maybe I haven't grown as much as I thought. Maybe I'm still the same, or maybe I should just go back to what I know. But I need you to hear this clearly. Noticing your patterns is not failure, it's awareness. And awareness is where everything starts to change. Because before you were moving on autopilot, before you didn't question your reactions, you didn't catch yourself, and you didn't pause. Now you do. And that pause, that's growth right there. Even if you don't act perfectly yet, even if you still get triggered, even if you still have moments where you want to go back, The difference is that now you see it. And once you see it, you cannot see it. That's where the real work begins. Not the aesthetic version of healing, not the quotes, not the choosing me posts. The real work. The quiet work, the work where nobody is clapping, where nobody's validating you, where it's just you catching yourself in real time. You start asking yourself, why did I just feel that? Why do I want to respond like that? And why does this make me uncomfortable? That's the part that builds you, because now you're not just choosing yourself in big moments, you're choosing yourself in the small ones too. In the text you don't send, in the explanation you don't give, in the boundary you keep, even when it feels awkward, and in the silence you decide not to feel. And slowly, you start building a relationship with yourself, not the version of you that performs, not the version of you that adapts, not the version of you that keeps everyone comfortable, but the real version of you. And if we're honest at first, that relationship feels unfamiliar because you spent so much time understanding other people, that reading other people and just adjusting to other people, that you never fully learned how to understand yourself. So now you're learning things like what actually makes me feel good, what actually drains me, what do I enjoy when nobody's watching, what kind of conversation actually feed me, and what kind of energy I actually want around me. And that takes a lot of time, and it takes honesty, because you're not just discovering new things, you're also unlearning old versions of yourself. And that's where the discomfort comes from. You're not becoming someone new out of nowhere. You're removing everything that wasn't really you, and what's left, that's who you actually are. And yes, she might feel unfamiliar right now, but unfamiliar doesn't mean wrong. It means new. And if you stay with yourself long enough, if you stop running back to what's familiar, if you stop trying to fill every quiet moment, and if you stop needing constant validation, you start to feel something different. Not loud confidence, not forced positivity, but something deeper, which is stability. You start trusting your own decisions. You start feeling okay with being yourself, by yourself. You stop feeling the urgency to explain. You stop chasing, and you start feeling grounded in your own energy. And that's when you realize that meeting yourself was never meant to feel comfortable. It was meant to be honest. And honesty is what sets you free. If this episode sat with you, don't ignore it. Sit with it, because this is the part most people run from. This is the moment where you either go back to what's familiar, or you stay and actually become who you're meant to be. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, like it, and share with someone who needs this conversation. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Love you bunches.
And remember, we're unfiltered, unapologetic, and unstoppable. That's that.